Hi, welcome to Forex in 4. I'm Mike Conlon for FXEDU, and in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to show you the highlights of where the action is in today's Forex market. So let's get started. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 27th, 2010. This morning I'm talking about market surfing. Now, after the EU bank stress test that came in last week, that was like the big news of the summer, and everyone was sort of waiting. It was kind of like a tipping point to understand which way the markets were going. Now, yesterday I mentioned that there was some question about the credibility of the test, but the market seemed to react favorably to it, and it pushed stocks higher, and the euro was higher, and things of that nature. So, when the market's sort of decides it wants to go in a direction, it's always best that you go with the market and try and sort of ride that wave, if you will, as opposed to trying to impose your own views on the market. So that's what we're looking at this morning. This morning we started out with some major risk appetite happening. There's going to be some CPI data coming out in the Eurozone and Australia tomorrow, which is going to show whether or not, particularly in Australia's case, whether or not they need to make a change to rate policy. But this morning in the UK, we got a CBI report showing that household spending increased at its fastest pace in nearly 3 years, which lends support to the view that economic recovery may be underway. So I just want to show you here, we're looking at the pound dollar. You can see right here at 6 a.m. was the time when that news came out, and boom, just a nice push higher for the pound versus dollar, got up to around 155.75 before pulling back this morning. Now, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback here, and I'm a little bit surprised by it at this point, which just goes to show you how quick these markets can turn around. But this may be a function of the U.S. Home Price Index, which came in this morning, which showed gains of about 1.3%. So that is higher than expectations, but at the end of the day, it's not making a new trend here. It's showing more stabilization. So I don't know if that's what the market is reacting negatively to this morning or not. But what we do have is we've got Japanese yen weakness. You can see there, Aussie's been higher versus yen. We also have the Kiwi higher. Just wanted to show you Kiwi. Now you can see Aussie's been down versus the Kiwi. Let's just look at this here on the 30-minute chart. Okay, you can just sort of see, obviously this is a very rangy pair, but it's sort of in a little bit of a downtrend here. And New Zealand, they're going to come out with their rate policy meeting tomorrow night. They're expected to raise 25 basis points to 3%. All right, and the Kiwi versus dollar, if we want to take a look at that real quick, let's look at it on the daily chart. It's closing in on 2010 highs if we go back about a year. So you can see the highs for the year were roughly about 74.50, and here we sit at just under 74. So that's good news for the Kiwi, but keep an eye on their policy statement. They may do a little bit of jawboning so that this thing doesn't fly higher, but the expectation is that rates are going to move higher. Now, the euro just flipped to negative versus the dollar here. Let's go back to the 5-minute. So we can see this. All right, as you can see, 8:30 came out, and then boom, all of a sudden we had a little bit of euro selling. All right, now consumer confidence figures and import prices were higher in Germany, showing that there's still some strength in the Eurozone's largest economy. Now, this sort of renews an outlook that there's going to be growth there in the Eurozone, but don't expect them to move on monetary policy anytime soon until they can get the sovereign debt issues under control in the countries, primarily the PIGS countries, who were experiencing problems. So that's sort of what we're looking at today. We're still in risk-taking mode. It's given back a little bit of gains, okay? But as you can see here, we actually have some dollar strength versus the yen here today, which we haven't seen in a while. If we go back and just look at the 4-hour chart, say. All right, so you can see that it's a little bit on the downside. We've gotten down to 86.5 recently over the past week. So there was some dollar strength versus the yen. Everyone's expecting Japan to intervene, but right now it appears as though they're content to sort of let the markets figure it out. So, with the absence of bad news in the marketplace, and actually getting some decent news, it's not like you're gonna this is world-beating news and everything's all of a sudden fine. But, there is, what I would call green shoots. I don't know if anybody remembers that term from Bernanke from a couple years ago, but this actually is starting to look like green shoots here. So, we've got some, decent economic figures coming out, And you just got to remember that global growth it's going to be slow at this point. We're not moving gangbusters pace. We've reduced leverage. People the lending hasn't really gotten back into the market just yet. So we're going to see some slower growth going forward. But just remember that the global economy is still fragile, but money has to go somewhere. Okay, there's right now interest rates around the globe, with the exception of places like Australia, it's not paying anything. So money has to go somewhere. So people are just begging for reasons to put it into stocks, to commodities, what have you, to these risk currencies. So, barring the absence of any bad news, I think that's going to continue. So, if you can get into these positions now, you can sort of ride that summer wave and sort of, let the market do the work as money flows in, as people take risk, as good news or lack of bad news helps push markets higher. So that's what we're looking at today. Speaking of leisure activities and riding the waves, I'm actually going to be on vacation for the next couple of days. So keep an eye out. We're going to have a special guest feature from Abe Kaufness, who's going to be sharing some of his trading tips with you. So I'll be back for next week. Everybody enjoy the rest of the week. We've got the CPI data starting to come out tomorrow, and good trading to all.
As always, be sure to check out the written blog at www.fxedu.com to get complete coverage of today's Forex market. If you would like to learn more about how to trade the Forex market from professionals like myself, be sure to check out our affordable Forex trading courses. And if you're already a seasoned professional or aspire to be one, ask us how we can help you achieve your Forex goals. Go to www.fxedu.com to get started today.